All right, so this is a movie review for The Wicker Man from 1973. I just watched this, and this is the director's cut, which adds like 15 minutes or something or so. The original cut's like less than an hour and a half, and basically a police officer gets a letter saying that this girl's gone missing and he needs to go investigate. And there's this island that just a second, that is off the coast and is famous for having like good fruit, good especially apples, and he needs to go there and look into this, and he does, and very strange events occur. Now this is the extended cut, and they add footage that they found, and it's definitely degraded parts of it. So it'll go like a scene, degraded footage, normal footage, degraded, normal, and it's cut throughout the movie. It's a little distracting, but I enjoyed the movie a lot. Christopher Lee is amazing in it. I wish he was in it even more. He plays like I think they call him the Lord of the Isle, the Lord of the Isle. He's basically like the mayor. His grandfather founded the place in mid 1800s. This is all spoilers too, obviously. There's a remake that is hilariously bad with Nicolas Cage. There's a great riff tracks on it. This is, a much better serious movie. Serious, quote unquote, because it's a very strange movie because there's a lot of singing and dancing. It's almost like a musical, you could say, actually. Because the island is full of people, and he finds out that they're pagans. They have no churches. There used to be a church, but the priest fled. They embrace paganism, and they think that is why they have good harvests of food. Christopher Lee says before his grandpa came there, the island was barren. The people there were dying, of starvation, and there's a twist later that involves the Wicker Man. But yeah, this is way better than the Nicolas Cage one. That one is just laughably dumb. That one's kind of fun just to watch and laugh at. But yeah, it stars Edward Woodward, who's in Hot Fuzz. That's right. I was like, this guy's been in a bunch of British stuff. Very well played as a conservative, basically conservative Christian, traditional British upright man. Basically, he would probably have loved Margaret Thatcher, and is a true believer and is, a good guy. He's searching for this girl. He cannot find her. I think even the mother who supposedly sent the letter says, "No, that's not my girl." And he meets her actual girl, and then the daughter says something really weird to him, that she turned into a hare, like a rabbit. And later on, he's able to find her grave, and he opens it up, and there's a rabbit in there. And then the lady's trying to convince him that through the power of transmutation that she turned into a rabbit. I thought that was pretty hilarious. And for a second, I think the guy almost believes her for a second. Like, he starts to kind of go crazy. He's being seduced by this lady that lives in the well, she's the daughter of the landlord. The landlord also it's the inn and the pub, and she's kind of the village bicycle. I mean, there's actually a song about that she's basically a village bicycle slut. That was hilarious. And they just start singing this, and that, you know, he should go and bang her. And he's freaking out because he's this, you know, hardcore Christian, and there's people dancing at night naked. You know, and there's people singing about sex and having wild parties, and he starts to get angry at everyone because he's like, this is a, you know, a lawless, immoral place. And yeah, he gives a great performance, Edward Woodward, definitely. And then it's revealed that, and you get the feeling that this is what's happening. Every year they have a harvest. They take a picture of a harvest girl and then the harvest bounty. But the one for the year they're in, which would have been, the picture would have been taken a few months ago, there is no picture in the inn. And he's like, well, what happened to the picture for last year or this year? And he said, oh, it fell and broke. And then he goes and finds the negative. He breaks into the office of this guy at night because no one will answer his questions. No one will. No one seems to care. And he's able to figure out that the girl he's looking for is the harvest girl. And they had a bad harvest. And so, you know, in many pagan, non-Christian cultures, it is true, they had human sacrifice in many of them. And this one seems, you know, believable that it could be in a pagan society, that they blame the bad harvest on the harvest girl. The gods, the old gods, need a sacrifice, and she will be the sacrifice. So now this isn't explained to him because it's obviously they're going to murder someone. And then he goes on this, you know, cat and mouse case, trying to find out more. Like I said, he finds her grave, but there's no body in there. And then it's revealed at the end that they built this giant wicker man. They're going to sacrifice her. He knocks out one of the innkeeper. He knocks him out, and they all wear these lavish garments and dress up as different creatures. He's dressing up as the fool, as the jester. And then the girl's revealed, and they're gonna kill her. And then he tries to rescue her, but it's all a trap. And Christopher Lee doesn't want to sacrifice the harvest girl. He wants to sacrifice a upright British man that's a Christian. And he says, you know, you'll be a martyr. And then they put him in the giant wicker man with other animals like geese, chicken, pig, sacrificed to the old gods, so that hopefully the next year's harvest will be good. There's a good scene when the guy is like reciting his faith in Jesus Christ, and he's saying that next year the harvest will be bad because these isles are never supposed to grow, you know, fruit. And when they do, when it is bad, then they're going to put you in the Wicker Man, Christopher Lee next, because they'll blame you, which is probably true, but you never find out. So, but yeah, there's some nice scenes between Edward Woodward and Christopher Lee, with Christopher Lee saying that the Christian God is dead and that the old gods are back, and I thought that was an interesting scene. Like a debate between a Christian and a pagan. You know, something you would see, you know, around the fall of the Roman Empire or something, or the Western Roman Empire. Like, you know, like a Christian monk debating. Yeah, what does Christopher Lee said? He says, he's like, your God is dead, and he let it happen, or something. And then Edward Woodward is staunch in his defense of Christianity, trying to convince Christopher Lee that there is no old gods, that there's only the one true God. But apparently the role for Christopher Lee was written for him. And a bunch of footage for years had gone missing, and then they finally, I think, discovered some of it, and that's what I watched, was the director's cut. And it's still missing footage, apparently. And Christopher Lee said they tried to find the footage, he couldn't find it. And the director's cut was made, I think, after Christopher Lee's death. But Sir Christopher Lee said he considers this to be one of his greatest roles ever. The Evil Eye rowing boat, which takes director Robin Hardy explained the meaning of the scene with the woman with an egg in her hand nursing a baby while sitting in a graveyard. According to Hardy, it is a fertility ritual, and she was hoping for another baby. According to the director, while this movie is largely filmed in Scotland, the aerial shots from the plane arriving were filmed in South Africa, because they didn't have the budget to glue blossom to that many trees. Christopher Lee paid his own press tour out of his pocket, and he hit every stop in the USA willing to interview about the movie. According to rumors, some farmers and Irish were surprised to see him on live early morning public access shows. Oh, that's funny. If you do me a favor and smash that like button, that'd be great. It really helps the channel. But it's just kind of a bizarre movie, but it is. I liked it. Sometimes with the singing and dancing, I was like, okay, let's speed this up. Like the guy who's, I forget what song he's singing, but it's also a kind of a weird song about life, death, and like not resurrection, but rebirth. And he's like a teacher, I think, for the children, and it's just goofy the way he's moving. But oh yeah, the lyrics of the popular song "Corn Rigs Are Bonnie" in this movie was written by Robert Burns in 1975. The music was written especially for this movie. 75, but it says it came out in 73. I don't really get that, but yeah, they keep playing this song, "Corn Rigs Are Bonnie," and it's just, I don't know, I was kind of getting kind of sick of it. Like, it's like The Long Goodbye. Like, it's this song they keep playing, but it's not a very good song. Most of the Summerside Island residents are named after trees, flowers, and plants. The girls in the classroom were supposed to be around age 12, but Leslie Mackey, Daisy, was 21 at the time. Is that the girl he's looking for? I think in the remake, the island is mainly inhabited by women, I think. I think that's a major difference. I think there are some men, but I think all the women are in charge and have all the power. There's like a feminist, I guess, kind of bent to that one, but movie's pretty laughably bad. Rod Stewart launched an attempt to block the release when he learned that his then girlfriend Britt Eklund appeared naked in the film. Yeah, there's a bunch of naked chicks in this movie. Yeah. Rod Stewart, really? That's pretty petty. I mean, she signed up to do it. And I'm wondering if it was released in Britain, because they had the video nasties and all that. I don't know, I would think this would have been banned, because there's a lot of nudity, there's a lot of sexual innuendo and talk, and I don't know, maybe not. Because I'm trying to look on the Wikipedia, but and there's some interesting interviews out there with Christopher Lee. Like, he says when he first watched the movie with the editor, I think it's the editor, and he's like, okay, like this movie, he's like, I thought it was amazing, and then he said to the editor, like, you know, we need to add like 15 minutes to it, and no one could find the footage, and they lost the footage, so they were kind of stuck with the edit they had, he said. And the editor said it was maybe in the top 10 worst movies he's ever edited or seen. Something like that. Due to its very small budget, most of the cast, including Sir Christopher Lee, worked without pay. Oh. Although the film is set in the Scottish territory and all the characters are meant to be a Scottish nationality, none of the leading cast are Scottish. Christopher Lee and Edward Woodward were English. Diane Salento was Australian. Ingrid Pitt was Polish, and Britt Eklund is Swedish. That's pretty funny. The island's end is named after the Green Man. The Green Man is a folklore figure, a symbol of rebirth, which represented the cycle of new growth that occurs every spring. The Green Knight in the Arthurian tale Sir Gawain and the Green Knight is thought to represent a medieval rendering of this tale. On his website, Ian Coulter, one of the musicians in the movie, writes, the film has been badly cut over the years, and Ian remembers doing scenes that have never appeared in any version of the film. One such scene is the dream sequence, which Ian can remember parts of quite clearly. He believes that this was filmed when Sergeant Howe is sleeping, while the hand of glory burns. During the dream, which is a kaleidoscopic image, a huge egg-shaped stone is revolving faster and faster. Also, the woman in the churchyard who is feeding the baby has the egg in her hand and crushes it. All very symbolic stuff. The scene has never been mentioned anywhere to my knowledge. Has anyone out there ever heard of it? Musician Gary Carpenter remembers similarly. I have a vivid memory of having a score of complex tree sequences for Howie, which was like post-scoring of an animation. It was so intricate. Yeah, it's not in the movie. Yeah, you know, some of the imagery in this kind of reminds me of like Monty Python. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. There's not much humor, but just the tone, in a way, kind of reminds me of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Which I bet they're fans of this movie. The temperatures were so cold during the filming that in order to prevent their breath from showing, the actors had to suck on ice cubes between takes. Wow, and it's freezing and you have to suck on ice cubes? That sucks. The Hot Fuzz also definitely has tons of references to this. The later, and the guys in it, the main actor. The later comedy horror police procedural film Hot Fuzz, featuring Edward Woodward in the ensemble cast, includes some story parallels to Wicker Man. Yeah, because they're revealed to kind of be like an Illuminati secret society. I'm not sure if they're pagan though, but apples feature prominently in Celtic mythology and may give their name to Avalon in Arthurian myth. Oh. Christopher Lee offered Peter Cushing the lead role of Sergeant Howie. He turned it down due to scheduling conflicts. Oh, wow. Well, I think the guy who plays him is really good. It's a hard role to play, too, especially the last act. Lindsay Kemp, who played Britt Eklund's father, was only 4 years older than her. When the film opened in the UK, it was relegated to the bottom half of a double bill with Don't Look Now. The two movies share thematic similarities, most notably that both feature protagonists who believe that they are in pursuit of a missing child. But I'm trying to see if it was wide released in Britain, because that's just kind of surprising to me. But I did just watch the extended cut. It would have been the normal cut. Prior to the shooting of the final scene, Edward Woodward was in the Wicker Man and a goat was penned in above him. Because the goat was scared at being shut up, it urinated on Woodward. Screenwriter Anthony Schaefer wanted this movie to be a little more literate than the average horror movie. He specifically wanted a movie with a minimum of violence and gore. He was tired of seeing horror movies that relied almost entirely on being scary. The focus of the movie was crystallized when he finally hit upon the abstract concept of sacrifice. Yeah. Yeah, it's got this creepy feel throughout the movie that everyone knows what happened to the girl, but no one will say. And that there's this secret cult that they're all a member of. So they definitely accomplished that. During his final scene inside the Wicker Man, Edward Woodward was reading his lines from a giant cue card placed around the surrounding cliffs. Yeah, there's some great cinematography of, I mean, I guess it's Scotland, I think. 'Cause I've been to Scotland. It's very beautiful. I'm trying to find, in Roger Ebert review, but I'm finding an article that was made after his death, so and I think Kermode gave some interviews on this too that are pretty interesting. He's a huge fan of this movie. I think he may have had a hand in restoring it too. But I think that's about it though. I did like the movie. You know, it's not like my favorite movie, but it's an interesting piece of history. And I think some of the themes are interesting. You know, Christianity versus paganism, and kind of gives a glimpse into you know, Europe's distant past. But definitely the last third of the movie it ratchets it up. That's when it's revealed what's really going on. And instead of just normal sacrifice, you know, he wants to sacrifice an actual Christian as a martyr. So, but yeah, that's about it though. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you next time.